is so loud every time. I got to figure out something on that one. Question everything. Today, we are interviewing Saniyah X. Saniyah,
What's
how
up?
are you today?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome.
Blessed and highly favored. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. I
Yeah.
mirror that statement
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
real.
Got to speak that positivity out there.
I am seeing all of your teeth, so I know the happiness is real.
Just happy to be here.
And I'm noticing that you have your new DJ. His booth is
Yes.
set up right behind you.
Yeah. She's actually taking a nap right now, but that is her station where she where she practices, or we get it in it.
That's funny. I saw that. What was it on
Is
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a handful. I love her though.
I was looking for. I was like, "Who's our new DJ? I gotta see this." It's the baby.
Oh, it's the baby. Yeah, she got her own turntable set up, and she be in there with the little plastic microphone.
And we're
Yeah,
not talking about the baby, the artist.
no, not that the baby, my baby.
So Sanaya is a not only a musician,
I'm a creator.
she's got bars. She is a
Oh,
creator.
thanks.
And I've sat and listened to Get It Right and Running on the YouTube channel, Saniyah X. For
Yeah,
those of you tuning in, you got to check it out.
yes, sir.
And it's just stuff that even though there's like two or three songs on there, you can
Mm.
listen to them over and over again. And I thought, why doesn't she have more music out
Oh,
there?
you know what? So I know we were speaking about this before you started recording, but a lot of my music is on streaming platforms. So I don't have as
Oh,
many videos posted, but I do have, two EPs and like singles that I've just thrown out there on SoundCloud and things like that. So people can listen to me everywhere. But
oh,
YouTube, I'm lacking in the YouTube department.
okay. I can
Yeah.
see what I can do to help you there.
Yes, sir.
I may know a thing or two about YouTube.
Okay, for sure.
So I'm really glad you said that. I knew I saw something about SoundCloud on your
Mm-hmm.
banner, and
Yeah.
I didn't see a link for it. So
Ah,
maybe that's one thing. Just
there it is.
a link in the Instagram for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna be playing more songs.
Definitely. If you got SoundCloud, Apple Music, Tidal, all of them, like whatever you stream on, you can find it.
All right,
Yeah,
you
my
heard
solo
that.
stuff and collaborations. Some of my collaborations are like my favorite parts of my music. So yeah,
Isn't it fun to collaborate?
it is. It is, especially because, well, what's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, Sagittarius. As a Virgo, being a bit of a perfectionist, I like to know who I'm working with. I will, make sure that they're dope before I hop on the track. And if it's a collaboration that I've picked, I already know it's going to be hot. So yeah, it's a blessing to be able to collaborate with people, and I don't care about followers. It's about a sound and a feeling, you know.
I heard that. I took a couple notes on. I wanted to take more notes. I
Mhm.
was writing it bar for bar in my head, thinking, oh, that's gonna take too long.
Yeah.
The only language spoken is the message I write.
Hmm.
Talk to us more about that. Actually, we're gonna come back to that. How
Yeah.
did you get started? That I'm curious about that. How did you get started?
I just grew up around music. That's really all I can. That's the beginning, the origin is mom and dad, just playing music around the house, and I just always loved music. So lyrics were a big thing with me, and they resonated with me, and I got my start in slam poetry.
Mm.
So once I was writing poetry, it was like I had a few people were like, "You could put that to a beat. You could start rapping." I was like, "What? Me, rapper? No, get out of here." But the more I got into it, it's like you don't have to fit the stereotypical rapper. I'm not a Nicki Minaj. I'm not even a Missy Elliott. As much as I love her and aspire to be her, I'm not that. But I am Saniyah X, and I do have a voice, and I do have an ear for what I like. So let's try it out. My first ever song that I did was what's the name of it? It was, I think it was Toxic. I don't want to say Toxic, but it was a song with me and my sister M Rose, and we posted it on SoundCloud. I had a mentor named Theory, and he actually brought us together through Vine. Um, So we both had a little bit of a following on there. I was doing 6-second poetry videos and she was doing 6-second singing videos. And we were like, let's do a song together. So I'm looking for it right now. Worst Drug. It's called Worst Drug.
Worst Drug.
And it was a Drake beat. I don't know who found it. I don't know if it was Emrose or Theory. They found it, brought it to me. She wrote the hook for it. I wrote the lyrics, and it was a wrap from there. At that point, I couldn't turn back and be like, I'm not a musician, because in my heart, I always was, you know. But once it's out there in the universe, can't take that back.
No.
So I just embraced it and ran with it.
So okay. I love the story and how it's unfolding.
Oh yeah.
Who was your, now since you were slam poetry,
yes,
before you were an artist, once you found out, was there a big inspiration in the music or the slam poetry?
I know that I got into slam poetry because of Def Jam poetry. So like Sheehan was a huge influence on me in the beginning. That he always had that poem, This Love. And for some reason, I just kept going back to that. Like, damn, that's what I want to do. So I started off writing love poetry. And then after that, it got, life got a little more real. And then that's when the more authentic side of me came out, and it wasn't just about lovey-dovey stuff, although I love writing that. But that's where that started. And as far as like mentors, you were asking about mentors, right? Yeah. Theory, the one who brought me and Emrose together, he was definitely a huge inspiration for me, because he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he was the main person that was like, yeah, put that to a beat. Let's hear what you can do. And he was coaching me through it, telling me, like, you should take out this part and put that in, really producing the track. Yeah. And it came out sounding crazy. And every time we did something together, it was coming out sounding crazy. So he was a big inspiration, like, in my life. But in terms of like music, J. Cole, Childish Gambino, Chance the Rapper inspired me there for a while. Kanye West has always been an inspiration, no matter how crazy or, against the grain he is. That's part of the beauty of Kanye. Missy Elliott, of course, and TLC. I have a lot of inspirations from that era.
Okay, so like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Same. I say same. They helped shape and mold, but my inspirations were the 94 gangster rap era. So Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, all of them. And that's kind of where I started. Was I would hear different words on a song and I'd write them out to the same cadence of the song that was playing. So I just rewrote songs as parodies. And someone was like, "You're really good at that. You're like the Black Weird Al." And I didn't want to be the comedian in the game. So I was like, "Nah, I got my own thing." Right. And it wasn't until I redid Usher's My Way to be My Hey, and it was about smoking, and it was the funniest thing ever. And then I was like, "Okay, people like me." And then I started going for it. But I love that you said J. Cole, and you said TLC. The irony there is they've done a song together. What was it?
Right. Crooked Smile.
Crooked Smile.
Yeah. I
feel like you can hear all of the people you mentioned in your music.
Really?
Yes. So it was Runnin'. Runnin' puts me in mind of something that J. Cole would do. Right. The bars on there are amazing. I want to play it on the show. I don't know how it's going to come through, but maybe I'll like cut it right here and put it in on the edit so that they can see, and then we'll talk about that. So
I know I can't keep running in the back of my mind. My thoughts are always racing till the sun starts to shine. The moon's my only friend when I'm alone in the night, and the only language spoken is the message I write. You see, these lies, they spread like wildfire. but the truth creeps out like molasses or honey. The fabric of fibs on the skeletons of men tend to be the dirtiest when we end up doing laundry, and life's a spin cycle on a permanent press. These young black men are taking shots at the chest, and the boys in blue pull the trigger, take vacation, avoid the present, still end up evading arrest. Now where's our justice at? What you believe in? Things that make you cry, make you stand up for your rights. Got you asking why, cause when I swallow in they lies, another protest, another petition to sign. I'm scared knowing that my future son could lose his life because of pigment of his skin. I swear this shit ain't right. Man, I got enough to stress about. Piled on top, but the negative is sitting in my bank account. I never got that shit, my balance red, but they still charge an arm and a leg and raise the whole amount. We got these overdrafts because we underpaid. The only person calling my phone now is Sally Mae. We working 9 to 5 and slaving for a minimum wage. You cash a check and then your fruit is gone the very next day. I gotta throw another 10 in the whip. Say a prayer behind the wheel that I don't break down again, because point A is where the story begins, but point B is just a rest up on this journey I'm in. I gotta make it to Z, I gotta make it to free, I gotta make it so that you can see my soul on this beat. Yeah, my heart's not on my sleeve. He's summer in Hawaii, just enjoying the breeze. I'd be on the next flight if it wasn't for fees that the court threw at me because they caught me with weed. A gram to be exact, I dropped a 20 for that. Got pulled over just a block from where I met my connect. A possession on my record, a misdemeanor sentence, a grain of payback. I guess that's what honesty gets us. I'm sorry, mama, I never meant to let you down. No matter how much you pause, I never let you drown. These thoughts beat down on the window pane of my brain like insanity made itself at home between insomnia and the empty space that I have saved for a rainy day. Some call it crazy, I call it eccentric. Can't you tell? These words are my weapon and I am a madman with the pen. We are conditioned to tighten the straitjacket of society and forget that our greatness was implanted in our individuality. Break the shackles, run free. Not stopping to
the only language spoken is the message I write.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that line.
Yeah. For a long time growing up, that was how I expressed myself. You know, I think on the surface, I'm a pretty easygoing person. And there are times when I feel disgruntled, and there are times when I want to pop off. You know, I want to get upset. I want to riot, or, you know, I want to cry. But kind of like what Jay-Z said, I let the, you know, what did he say?
Let the song cry.
Yeah, I let the song cry. I
can't see him coming down my eyes, so I got to make the song cry.
Exactly. So that was you know, my outlet was the pen and paper. Running is the perfect example of me going through the ups and downs and noticing the politics and noticing, you know, how things are affecting me from the outside in and then from the inside out. It was a very reflective song. And I think that's why it resonated with a lot of people, because they listen to it. They're like, damn, I feel that. Like, that's exactly what's going on. And that's how I feel. And I didn't know how to formulate it and put it into words. And that's my gift. That's where I come in, because I can talk to you and, you know, resonate with you through that music. I might not be the best person to talk, like a public speaker or something like that. But when it comes to being able to sit down and formulate my thoughts and put it to music, that was a gift that God gave me. So
isn't that funny how that works out? So I'm a public speaker now too, but I used to be terrified of public speaking.
Right.
But I can put a whole story together in a matter of 4 minutes, 3 verses. What? Hold on, I'm doing math here. 30 something bars.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, but we can't talk in front of people. We can do the thing that's more vulnerable,
yeah,
which is bearing our soul, but we can't speak. It's funny.
And I can do it on stage with a microphone, but once the music stops and I'm forced to like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Saniyah X. How are y'all doing tonight? And you just gotta like break that ice. But yeah, that's where we're most vulnerable and most comfortable, honestly.
Yeah. I feel that.
Sitting in a dark room by yourself with pen and pad, or now, you know, with your iPhone. If that's, I tend to find pen and paper to be more therapeutic.
It really is. Since I've been typing on my notes on my iPhone, it has not been the same. And actually, that may be why I stopped making music. Is it? Because I couldn't feel it anymore. It was just thumbs. And so, yeah, I could rap it in that moment. I could remember how I said it for a certain amount of time, but if I left it too long and I looked at it again, there's no connection.
Yeah.
When I look through my journals, and I have a whole tub full of journals from 97 on up to now.
Wow.
When I look at it, I can always remember what was happening when I wrote it.
Yep.
And that's a lot of music.
Oh yeah.
36 studio albums. I want to say that's maybe a third of the stuff I have.
Right.
If that, maybe a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
There was something. Oh, so the fact that Running was a reflective song.
Mm-hmm.
It was how things affect you from the outside and then from the inside out.
Yeah.
There's something really great and horrible about the fact that that was 4 years ago.
Right, because it's still very relevant.
It's great that it still resonates. It's great that it's still relevant. It sucks that the politics in it.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. The substance of it is still relevant, which sucks ass.
Yeah, I mean, you flashed a couple of people that had been shot.
Yeah.
The violence, it was just a couple faces, and that doesn't even include George Floyd or anybody that's happened since then.
Right.
And I don't know if you noticed, but ever since we've been off lockdown, the shootings are up again.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. You had a whole year.
Yeah.
And
to
you
just
still,
get it together.
I don't understand it.
Me
I
neither.
don't understand it. And that's kind of the reason for the podcast, Question Everything.
Yeah.
I started questioning everything a long time ago. I can't remember the exact first question, but I know that the first one that really touched me and like it felt like the ghost of Christmas past took me down a walk down memory lane was when my daughter asked me why I always drank beer. She was 3 years old. It's like movie stuff right there.
Right.
You don't want that question to come up from your 3-year-old daughter or son for that matter.
Right.
And the fact that it came, it was like, I have a decision to make right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do I say something that's like a dad joke that's going to be funny to me in this moment? And then when I hear that same stuff when she gets older, be mad at myself because I did that. That same daughter just enrolled in University of North Texas.
Yes.
She's going to be a surgeon. She has certificates in the medical field. She's a phlebotomist. She's looking to get a job. She's going to live on campus, like the whole thing.
That's awesome.
She started going down that path, and I thought, man, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Right. I didn't answer the question the way I wanted to, and she still went left. But she went left, and then what happened in that process brought her back all the way around, and now she's well-rounded. I said all that to say, what was the moment that made you start questioning everything?
Just like you, I've been questioning stuff for as long as I can remember. I've always been a rebel, and that's the only way I know how to put it. Because, if you conform, you don't question nothing. You go over whatever you're being told, and I was never like that. My mom, I don't know that she'll admit it. My dad, I don't know if he'll admit it, but I kind of see myself as a problem child amongst me and my siblings. I was the oldest of 4. So it was a weird dynamic because, when you're the oldest child, you're supposed to be the role model. You're supposed to, do what you're told and set the good example for your younger siblings. And I did what I was told sometimes. But I feel like I set the example for my siblings to be who they really are, to be their truest selves, and to question everything. If something's not right, don't just sit around and bite your tongue and then feel it internally and not being able to vocalize it.
Yes.
So
that's some good values to pass down.
I've been questioning everything since forever. I'm a curious ass person too. So I will question everything if it doesn't make sense to me. Now, when stuff makes sense, I'll go with it. But there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense back then, nowadays. So yeah, just like your daughter, if something catches her attention, there's a lot of stuff that catches my attention. So if I have the resources to be able to answer the question myself, without asking or without questioning it, But even then, when you questioning something, you do your research, or you do ask somebody, you do look for what makes sense, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And everything we know is subject to revision, including the truth. So even if we do get whatever is truth, that's subjective to that person's experience in life, right?
Yeah.
And everything that we learn is true until we learn that there's another way.
Bingo. Yeah.
I love that you're a curious person. I feel like it's that creative curse where we are rebels. Yeah. We don't just accept life as it is because we're creators.
Right.
If something doesn't feel right, we have that gift to be able to change it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's irresponsible of me to stop creating, because it's been about a decade since I've really dove in and like done shows and all of that. I've done a couple shows, but compared to what I was doing in 2009, I'm robbing the world of the gift I have to offer them by not making music, by not venting on the microphone, by not venting through writing. You are actually inspiring me to get back into it, and I appreciate that.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that is awesome. So
I mean, but you're still creating by, creating content and having a podcast, being a presence and having a platform that way. You're still using your voice and your thoughts. You're just not writing them down and putting them to a beat, but you are still, putting something out there in the universe and creating something.
That is true. I didn't even think about that way.
Yeah.
Because my first love was rap, music, but rap because I couldn't sing.
Right.
I don't have your gift.
Oh, that's all God. That's all I can say.
I say I don't. I could probably sing, but it takes a really special person to be able to, like we were talking about, public speaking.
Yes.
It's one thing to get up and talk. You have to be absolutely insane. If the number one fear in the world is public speaking,
right?
85% of people say they're afraid of public speaking. The other 15% are lying.
Right.
It takes a special kind of person to not only get up and speak in front of people, but speak super slow and melodic, bearing their very soul on stage in front of people, for people, on a recording for people to listen to at any time of the day.
Yeah.
I commend that. I don't think I've got that courage to sing yet. I know I have a voice. I just haven't found my octave yet. I want to say it's like...
You're a shower singer, though. We walk by the bathroom, we could hear you.
Oh, girl. Belting it out. I'm singing all the oldies.
Well, I didn't think about that as far as, how vulnerable you actually have to be. Because I do, I stumble, public speaking, but you throw on a song, I'll sing it. And I don't think twice about it. Yeah. I know I'm not the best singer, especially in this day and age. It's all about your runs, what you can, but there's still something I think that sometimes that can shy away from the actual soul of music. It's not always just about the performance of it, but how you feel. Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So I heard that you're from Memphis.
I'm located in Memphis currently, but I'm from California.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in California, and then my dad was in the military, so we bounced around every few years.
I understand that. My mom was American Airlines, so we did the same. Everyone always asks me, military brat? When I tell them I grew up in France, I'm like... Or my favorite, how did you get to France? American Airlines. Sounds like I'm being a smartass, but really, that's how it happened.
It's the truth.
So, in all of this creation, how long have you been doing music?
So my first time ever in a studio was when I was 17, 18. I was a senior in high school. Before that, I was just doing talent shows. my mom actually gave me a microphone when I was like a freshman or a sophomore in high school. And I just had the microphone and my little computer, and me and my best friend that lived across the street, we were making songs and putting them on SoundClick a long time ago. Our group name was Enrapture. That was my first time ever rapping. And if anybody digs that up, do not use it against me.
I'm digging it up.
But
Girl,
but
I'm
you
on
know,
SoundClick.
wait, listen, our first song was a remix of My Way by Usher. No bullshit. He likes it my way. Yeah, my way. No lies. So when you told me that, I was like, oh man, that's crazy.
You're kidding.
I swear.
Okay, so mine was, you're smoking my hay.
Hey.
My hay. Y'all ain't got that bomb in dough, so they keep coming back to smoke a bomb.
Hey.
What was it about that song that made you just want to put your own words to it? Or just made you want to do it your way?
Good. That was the perfect way to remix that song. Like, oh, Usher did his thing, but let me do it my way.
And that was one of the CDs that when you brought the single, it had the instrumental. That could be it.
Yeah.
Because the next one was called Would You?
Mm-hmm.
And I used Puff Daddy's Satisfy You, which was a remake of 5 on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, my sister laughed at this so hard. Would you dance like you got red ants in your pants and you're trying to get them out? That was the song. But I'm monotone. And then I was even more monotone. There was no soul.
Mm-hmm.
It was just reading on paper. So it was like, would you dance like you got red ants in your pants and you're trying to get them out? You probably won't find that on SoundClick. There's a reason.
Right. Let's not go digging for these things, okay?
I love that you mentioned SoundClick, though.
Oh, yeah. That's how you know. That was, no.
That's the originals.
Yeah. Yeah. It was that era.
And then you got all your instrumentals from there. And it was just, it's still, they finally redid the site and brought it up to date. Yeah. It looks better, but it was a little rough for 20 years.
That tells our age for sure, doesn't it?
It does. I was gonna say, you said senior year, and I'm like, what was that, like 3 or 4 years ago for you?
No, I am 31. Yeah.
I'm 31.
No. Thank God. I graduated high school in 2007. So I was recording music for the first time in the garage was like 2004. But when I really started taking music seriously again was like 2015, 2016. When I transitioned from poetry into, music again, and started posting things to SoundCloud. And that first song got hella traction. So that's when I decided like, oh, okay, somebody's listening. Let's do it. So I just kept going. And since then, like, it's been crazy. Yeah. Awesome. Like there's so much packed into that one statement. It's been crazy. But yeah, it's been a blessing for sure.
So let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned authenticity too. We'll get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
How in this It's Been Crazy, was there an aha moment, and how do you find balance in it all?
The aha moment. I don't know that there was. So what do we feel when there's an aha moment? I don't know that I've had that one moment that's just like, yes. You talking about like that made me decide that art is what I needed to do? Yeah.
Because that seems to be the one where that was the crisis. That was the turning point for you.
Yeah.
Because you said when I got serious again was 2016. I know how it feels to take so long off and then get back into it and feel like you're not going to be able to. And then it's like riding a bike. You just get right back in it. Like there was no break. And you're better.
Yeah. So I would have to say the aha moment was probably 2000. Oh God, I can't even remember the year. I was working at a hotel, Courtyard by Marriott. I was working with my best friend Mimosa, and I got fired from that job I would say wrongfully. The day they fired me, I slipped and fell, and I worked in the kitchen. So I slipped, I fell, busted my knee, hurt myself, and they let me go.
That is wrong.
Yeah. Up to that moment, you know, I'd been doing music here and there, but that I think was the turning point. That's like, I mean, 9-to-5 jobs are great for survival. And that's what I was doing up to that point was surviving, paying my bills, you know, making sure everything was taken care of, writing my songs on the side. But at that point it was like, they don't give a damn about you. And it sucks to say that. And not all jobs are like that. But in that moment at that time, it felt like they left me out to dry. Like I could have seriously been hurt, and they decided to fire me so that they wouldn't have any liability on them, which is super weird. And I could have taken it to court and I could have had a lawsuit, but you know, that wasn't something that I was privy to at the time. But in that moment, it was just like, you're bigger than this. You're better than this. You know, like God gives everybody a gift. It is our job to identify what it is and to cultivate it, nurture it, and grow it. So knowing that I've always had a gift for pen and paper, I've always been able to put my words, put my thoughts into words and push them out there. It was just my first love, and it was something that I couldn't let go, even if I tried. Even if I was always busy, it was a hobby. It was something that I was still constantly doing. So at that point, it was just like, nah, you have the ability, especially with our song on SoundCloud, you have the ability to take this platform that you've been given and to grow it and to connect with people. Actually, I've had a lot of aha moments now that we're speaking on it, because there was a few moments. It's just like reconfirmation. Everything that I was doing was confirmation. I put out this song Fragile. It was actually a remix of Tech Nine's song. And yeah, it was another one in the poetry lane where I was talking about suicide prevention, because I had those thoughts myself in high school. The depression, I didn't know how to harness it and really talk about it. So at that point, I was already like 23, 24. And when I wrote Fragile, I was in a space of talking to my younger self, talking to the me that didn't know where to turn to talk. And just letting people know that, like, you know, you don't have to go that route. Things are going to be okay. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're a masterpiece. And I had so many people reach out to me after the release of that song saying that it saved their life, or, you know, it spoke to them. And it was just always another confirmation. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. You're not making millions, but you are changing lives and you are reaching people and saving people. That means more to me than money. So
you did say that in Running. You said, I'm trying to reach the million. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about you hearing.
Yes.
That you give me chills. You said something I wanted to touch on a little more, and there's two really important days in life. It's the day you're born and the day you figure out why. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not being able to let it go, not being able to walk away from it, and just having that ability to touch people. And you're right. It's not just one aha moment. I asked that question specifically to take people down a jog down memory lane, a jog down memory lane, to know that there's a lot of those moments where it's confirmation. Yeah. So there's that aha moment that turns you. Mm-hmm. And once you're headed down that right path, what those confirmations, what I like to call them, are God kisses. Yeah. It's like he bends down and he's like, yep, you're doing the right thing.
All right.
Yep, you did the right thing. And that was my nickname in the 12-step programs, because that's what I would always tell people.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad, it's here to teach you something. Life happens for you, not to you.
Bingo.
Just know that whether it's good or bad, it's here to teach you something and to help you grow. Take it as a God kiss.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, in taking off and just going for it, did you take the full leap, or is there still some fear you feel you have to overcome?
I would say that I did I took the full leap when I was living in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I was working in Sevierville, which was about an hour away, and I was serving tables. And we were making good money, but I was not fulfilled. I had all this money stashed to the side, and I was like, I will leave this job now and go to LA. My mentor, the one that I spoke to previously about theory, he was actually in LA. So he wanted me and another artist to come out there, and he would take us to the studio, kind of teach us the ropes, let us get familiar with LA. And I dropped everything and went to LA. My best friend and I, we were in a 1-bedroom apartment at the time. So she was able, and she worked for the apartment, so she was able to handle everything there. Like I didn't leave her high and dry or anything like that, but I did leave a good majority of my stuff. I took a duffel bag and I think one other bag, and I was supposed to be gone for a week and connect my flight to Atlanta and then go back to Tennessee. When I got to LA, I didn't go back. The ticket expired and I stayed, and I knew that I told myself, there's another aha moment. I told myself, and something spoke to me, something being probably God, spoke to me and said that you're not leaving here until you make something of yourself, until you have something to show for it. So by the time I left LA, I had a number of shows under my belt. I had a book that I had published. There were a number of things that I did for myself. And now I have that story to be able to tell my daughter and, other people that are interested in my story. Like, taking the leap, it comes with highs and lows. Like, you cannot take the leap and expect everything to be easy peasy. That's not how it works. But you got to have faith that everything will work itself out, and everything has worked itself out.
That is beautiful. I was going to ask, is there anything you have for aspiring artists watching this, people that have not taken that leap? That I feel like you've answered that. But if there's anything else, what would you say to someone that's on the fence about that?
There was, now, homelessness is very scary to a lot of people, or houselessness, let's say. And there for a good couple of months to a year, I can't remember the exact amount of time, my best friend and I were homeless in LA. We were sleeping out of our car, taking showers at Planet Fitness after we had our workout, still eating right and making money, but we just didn't have a house to stay in. But those were some of the happiest days that I've ever had. The most joyous days, not being constricted by, responsibilities, not being confined to one space, having to pay rent, things like that. So I was able to wake up every day and create and make music and be productive. And I was every single day. So it's when you find something that gives you that much joy, take care of it and don't let it go, don't let it go. So
when you find something that brings you that much joy, take care of it and don't let go.
Yeah.
Sounds like En Vogue right there.
What's it gonna be?
But I can't pretend.
No.
So, that is beautiful. it almost feels like that's a prerequisite to making it. Either a horrible accident, a life-changing moment, or homelessness, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, if all three, you're a billionaire.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that's funny because while I lived with my mom when I made the most music, you're right. When there's no responsibility, you have nothing but room to create.
Yeah.
Here I've secured, and it's funny, I actually just started today working for Marriott.
Oh, crazy.
Right? Here we go. Those synchronicities, right? There's no coincidences, though. I'm actually a designer for their app. So
nice.
I've actually secured an income that allows me to take care of a family of 7, if you count me and my wife. So 5 kids, me and my wife. I've secured an income that makes it so that I can create. And there's still this lingering guilt that I shouldn't be doing something that I enjoy. Does that make sense? Like, have you ever felt that where you're doing something you love to do, you're really good at it, but there was one person that said, you shouldn't be doing that, focus on this instead, or get a real job, or grow up. You know, there's always that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, there are those people, and I have had those moments. When I was in college, my actual first love was videography and filmmaking. So I between the camera and the microphone, that is my safe haven. That is my house. That's what I built. So when I was in college, I was going to school for videography, and a mother of one of my high school friends, she was a big influence on my life when I was in high school, and she told me to get out of filmmaking because it doesn't make any money, and to find a major that would provide security. So I went into business finance, and then I dropped out because I hated it. And there was no ounce of me that wanted to be there. And it was too late to turn back and go back to what I loved. So that was, and you know, I know she meant well. And we always mean well as adults and parents, and we want the best for, you know, the children, not only our children, but the children in our village and our neighborhood. But we have to understand the power of those words, you know, and that really, it scared me into switching to something that I had no desire to be in, because what, banks never close. People always need money. Like, you can count the dollars. And that, I think that was another aha moment. Like, after all that, it was just like, man, I don't care about the money. That stuff doesn't matter to me, as long as I got not even a roof over my head at one point. As long as I'm able to survive and be who I am, then I'm good. So yeah, I've had people try and talk me out of it. I think after that, I didn't really listen to many other people try and tell me what to do. Just like, yeah, I've heard that kind of advice before, and it may work for you, but it didn't work for me.
What works for one person may kill another.
Yeah, exactly.
And this comes back to that authenticity. I told you we'd come back around to it.
Yeah.
There always is that one person that it's almost as if they're trying to live vicariously through you. So because they didn't follow their passion, or they were too afraid, they're afraid that you'd do the same as them. And really what they're doing is they're putting a constraint, a limit on you that didn't exist before, and probably would have never existed if you didn't sow that doubt. Yeah. Like we were talking about in the beginning, everything we know is true until we're introduced to something else. And so when it's an elder telling you and you're younger, you take it as law or truth because they should know, right?
Right.
When was that moment that you decided that no matter what, you were going to be your authentic self?
Oh, man. There's so many of those moments as well. Just reconfirmations, like I said. I've always had, I feel like I've always had those moments where I have been my authentic self. And then sometimes I get lost in the sauce, but I bring myself back. Um, when I was in like middle school, a part of me being able to express myself, I didn't make music at that time, but I was dyeing my hair just crazy colors. And my parents they let me embrace who I was. They didn't necessarily push my gifts or try and get me to do things that I didn't want to do, but as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be in musicals. I've wanted to be on stage performing music, and I have been writing in journals and diaries for as long as I can remember. So I think that was always present, as far as being my authentic self. Straying away from myself would be like in relationships, but somehow I always brought myself back because half the time I would write about my relationships in poetry and music. So I don't know that there's ever been a point where I was so lost that I had to commit to never again straying away from my authentic self. I can tell you now, being a mother, it's a little bit harder to balance, being Saniyah X the artist and being Saniyah the mom. But I'm learning every day, it's interesting.
If I can give you any hope on that subject, it gets better.
Oh yeah. I already know.
We have 5. 2 are my biological. I kind of put everything on the back burner for them. I had a contract with Interscope a long time ago. It was an offer for $16 million, and they were going to mold me into something that I wasn't. Had someone look over the contract, and I was about to sign it, and my ex-wife said, "If you sign that contract, you'll never see your son." And it's like, what decision do you make at that point? I thought, 16 million, I could fight her.
Right.
But I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be there for him. So I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because looking at the fine print, a record contract is not all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
My biological children are 18 and 19 now. My bonus children are 17, 19, and 22.
Oh, you got it easy then.
It is so easy, girl. I think I'm still shell shocked and like traumatized from the whole process of growing them up though. So I'm like still trying to. I just paid my last child support payment last week, and I'm like,
right. So that's it.
This you just stop? Like we ain't throwing no party?
All right.
It just feels like everything is too good,
Yeah.
But I almost feel like we get that beauty for our ashes, like it promises in the Bible, right? We go through so much.
Yeah.
We endure so much crap on this journey to live out our authentic selves and give that creation that we have to the world. And right now I'm in the best position I've ever been in to do that. Like you said, I didn't even realize that until you said it, that I'm still creating by making content and doing videos.
Right.
And someone else told me you have to be the subject matter expert on your show as well. You can't do all interviews. And lately I've just been doing interviews.
Right.
So I just came up with a new plan today, and I will not share it here because it is part of my marketing ploy.
Right.
But it's gonna work.
Okay. All right. I'm ready for it.
So I'll talk to you about it offline. It's a pretty cool strategy. And I've seen it work before. So if it's like having the key to a lock. When you have a formula for success, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what color you are. You turn that key in that lock and it's going to open.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really enjoying this, and I feel like we could go a lot longer, but I know your baby's going to wake up soon.
She's awake in the other room right now, I hear.
Okay. Is there a mantra, quote, or saying that you've heard in your life that has really inspired you? Something that you repeat to yourself that keeps you going? Something that inspires you as far as a favorite quote, mantra, or saying?
see. I think it was a Nipsey Hussle quote.
Love me some Nipsey.
Oh yeah, man.
That man was a genius.
He really was.
Especially really on that last one, Victory Lap is.
Oh my gosh, play it front to back, no skipping any songs. I think it was okay. Here it is. You will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone who is doing less than you. Remember that. So in this whole thing of being vulnerable and, you know, putting stuff out there, I have gotten so many people who, not so many, it's like thousands, but I've had people who just hate for no reason. Just want to comment, the trolls, the people, you know, who come up on your songs and, oh, this is trash, or, you know, people who have doubted me my whole career. Ever since I put something out, there's always been someone who's had something to say. And if I gave energy to those people, I would be doing a disservice to myself and to the people around me and to the people that admire me and want to see me succeed. So that really spoke to me, because the people who have something to say and it's not constructive criticism, you know, I can take constructive criticism and I enjoy it from people who are above me and people who are on my level that can, you know, give me critiques, let me know what they think. How does it sound? Da, da, da. But for someone who's doing nothing, and you can clearly, you can feel when someone is just miserable and they don't have, you know, anything to do with their time. Yeah. And I've witnessed those people get the attention that they want. You know, someone snaps back. I was thinking about like Wale or Kid Cudi or Kevin Durant. Like, these people are on a platform where they don't need to entertain the negativity. It doesn't benefit them at all. And it doesn't benefit their fan base or anybody to see them fly off the handle because someone said some out of pocket shit in Connecticut, or, you know, just somewhere off the wall. Right. So that's always been big for me, because you can't be that vulnerable and have not have tough skin.
No, not at all.
Nah.
you have to have a certain level of you have to be able to not give a fuck.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta have that fuck it in your system.
A healthy dose of it.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, I love that. Someone that's above you will never criticize you. Yeah. It'll only be someone that has more than you will never criticize you. It'll only be someone that has less than you. Mm-hmm. I hear my mom in my head right now saying, they're just jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
And then it sunk in, because I have a sister. It's my baby sister, but she's 10 years older than me. I took her place as the baby. I'm the baby of 5. She hated me her whole life for no reason, but she was always in my business, making sure she knew everything I was doing and reported it to my mom, and just could not stand me. But the only thing she could focus on was me. We mended that relationship, I want to say 15 years ago, 13 years ago, somewhere around there. And it was going great. Mm-hmm. But you noticed the shift of attention from me back to my mom. So it was all her. And she hated her. And it stayed there. But she vented to me one day. And I said, okay, so our mother's a horrible mother. Let's say she tells you that. I was a horrible mother. I'm sorry.
Right.
What does that change? How does that fix and move you forward?
Right.
We've not talked since.
Oh, wow.
People cannot handle the truth.
Oh.
And the truth shall suck, and then it shall set you free.
Yep.
You are a very wise woman.
Oh, thank you.
And you've just succeeded at public speaking, just so you know. Whether you like it or not, you just spoke publicly.
Right.
It's that easy.
Right.
If you word your outline to your speech or whatever it is in the form of questions, our brains are hardwired to answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen is you're going to answer those questions. So if you have that outline and you remember your questions, you'll remember your whole story that you want to tell on stage or whatever it is.
Huh.
Which is why interviews work out so well.
Right.
Because people ask questions. Speaking of questions,
yeah.
Is there a question that you think everybody should be asking themselves?
Is there a question everybody should be asking themselves? I think one, what makes you happy? Because if you can identify what makes you happy or what brings you joy, then you have a direction for finding the purpose for your life. And did you do something today to better yourself?
What makes you happy or brings you joy? Because once you find out what makes you happy, it can drive you towards your purpose.
Yes.
That's really, I never, like, that's a really good way to look at it. My business coach calls it dialing up the why, like intensifying the why. Why is it that you do what you do?
Right.
If you don't wake up in the morning excited to be alive and doing something,
your
why isn't strong enough.
No, you're dying. You're not living.
And then did you do something today to help you grow?
To better yourself, yeah.
To
grow.
better yourself. I love that one. And do you journal? You said you've been journaling as long as you can remember diaries. Do you still journal with music writing, or is it hard to balance that?
I journal through music.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you see the light bulb come on? I've been journaling every day since 2008. And even with that, I was able to make the most music I made in a short amount of time was 16 albums in 4 years. Even with journaling every day, I was still able to write a lot of music.
All right.
But it's pretty much all I did was write. But I had so much fun. I was so alive.
Yeah.
And like a conversation could turn into a song. That's how much it was here. The reason I had asked that is because I needed a little more inspiration.
Right.
But I know someone else needs to know that you can journal through music.
Oh yeah.
That's another one of my aha moments / confirmations here. Thank you for that. I am going to journal through my music. I'm going to start making music again. I feel like we should make a collab. I'm going to give you the link to my music so you can check it out. So that you'll see that I'm dope, so that we can work together.
I'm with it. Go ahead and send me them links.
Dreamville. What's that about?
This is J. Cole's brand.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I got it. I got it at the Forest Hills concert. And I think I was in Raleigh. I don't remember for exactly, but yeah, I had to grab one. It was dope.
I'm gonna have to grab one too. It is dope. Okay, I have one final question for you, Saniyah.
Oh yeah.
Who are two people that you know that are crushing their goals like you that you'd love to see me interview on the show?
Okay, so the first one off the top of my head is one of my best friends. Her name is Coach Fruit.
Coach Fruit?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is a PR agent. She is a music artist as well. And she is the glow up coach.
What?
Yeah. So what she does through her own testimony and through her life, she has helped people with their health, their wealth, and their mind to glow up.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the best friend that I was actually homeless with in LA. So since then it's
she definitely glowed up.
Yeah, it's definitely been a skyrocket, and it's all glory to God, really.
Wow.
Yeah, so she would definitely be someone I could see you interviewing because she has just as crazy of a story as I do. And we actually
hear the other half of it.
Yeah, we met through Vine as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, me and Fruit. The other person that I would suggest is M Rose. That was my sister, the one who I did that first song with that we released on SoundCloud. She is actually a cancer survivor, and she has done. She was on VH1 on one of their music shows. I can't remember the name of the show, but she's doing amazing things as well, and definitely has a story worth telling.
Wow!
And you go listen to her music, you're gonna be blown away. I'm blown away every time I listen to her.
And this is your sister.
Yeah.
So music just runs in the family.
Well, she's not blood. She's not my blood sister, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is the better family, right? The one that you can pick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I will ask you for their contacts and maybe an introduction afterwards, but
yeah, for sure.
I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thanks to Becca.
Right?
That's my girl. That's my girl, Becca.
Becca was awesome. Becca is awesome.
Yeah.
I plan to do a follow-up show with her to see how she's doing, and nice. I'm thinking a follow-up show with you would be great as well to see how far you progressed in the career.
Definitely.
I don't think I have any other questions for this show.
Okay.
So until next time, and hang on after I stop the recording.
Okay.
Cue music now. So I say that, and then we talk, and the music will be running while we're talking still, because I haven't really figured out how to get the music in the background through my mixer to go out, but I have a theme song that a friend of mine